Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm Mel, and I'm with my great friend Rachelle, and we are coming to you live through our Facebook group and Twitter. Rachelle, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. It's Monday. I get to talk to you. I mean, what could be better than that? We have an amazing guest today. We had a great, if anybody didn't join us on Friday, I highly recommend that you go back and you check that out because we had Eric Scheninger with
Yes.
us, and it was a really good conversation with Eric on Friday, just like with real talk, and we had a lot of fun too.
Yes, I am a big fan of his now. So just because he put the truth out there in a way that I really could appreciate. We had some technical difficulties. Hopefully today will be a little bit better, but it was a great session. And speaking of great sessions, my beautiful friend, how was your ISTE session this past weekend?
Yeah, they were good. It's amazing how fast the conference goes. I mean, you plan for it all year, and then this year was, of course, it didn't happen in June, but then even building up to November, it was 7 days instead of the normal 5. And probably thousands of sessions. I'm not sure how many, but there were almost, I think, 13,000 people that registered this year. And just the platform was awesome. Most of the sessions were recorded. There were some that weren't, like the poster sessions weren't recorded, which is why they had you do like a demo video, but you were there live for an hour kind of like session like you would be. So on Saturday, I had an author panel with the ISTE authors. So that was a really good conversation about challenges of teaching now, our books, and like if we could rewrite them, what would we take out? What would we put into the book? So that was good. And then I had the conversation about artificial intelligence. I did a project. I co-wrote a kind of lesson plan on artificial intelligence for use in a language classroom about translators. One of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to languages. And that was a discussion on Saturday afternoon. So it was good. I have a lot to go back and watch the recordings of. So I'm thankful I have 6 months to do that.
Yeah, I am too. I was having a really emotional week. And I was able to get through it. I realized that if I go too long without a face-to-face conversation with another human being, my extroverted self really struggles. But I was healed by all of that, thank God. But I did not participate in ISTE. I signed up for it and I'm registered. So I need to go back and see your session and all the other sessions that our wonderful friends put on, because I know that there's good stuff in that. And I love that you said, that like, just about like how you had to change things up, how you had to pivot as an author, as a teacher, an educator, because that actually is a great natural segue to talk about our guest who is coming up. She is a nationally recognized principal. She just released an amazing book, Principled, that Navigating the Leadership Learning Curve. And we were talking a little bit before this session about how her book they started writing before the pandemic. So I want to introduce you to my friend, Courtney Farua. She's an amazing educator. I've been following her for just a little bit, but over a year for sure. And I personally really like her. So I'm so glad she joined us. Courtney, congratulations on your book, on your recognition. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're coming live from, and your book.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. I am Courtney Farua, and I'm an educator in McMinnville, Oregon. I was the principal at Washer Elementary for 6 years, and for the past 2 years, I've been in the district office as the director of curriculum, and super excited about this book. I wrote it with two of my friends, Kate Barker and Rachel George, and we were all principals that were serving on the Confederation of Oregon School Administrators. So we were traveling together and kind of connecting at these conferences, and it was one of those like synergistic, the stars aligned kind of thing. And we just started talking to each other and telling about our stories, and we were, finishing each other's sentences, and just kind of decided that this camaraderie that we had together was such a gift. Being a principal can feel super alone sometimes. And it was just nice to have these people that weren't in our district that we could kind of reach out to and bounce ideas off of. And so that's how Principled was born.
Awesome. And can you show us your book? I know I said, do you have it? So show us this beautiful thing. Nice.
It's like you dream about it and you see it on like these little JPEGs, and then to actually like hold it in your hand, it's been really awesome. So yeah, it just launched earlier this month.
You can keep it up. Here, put it really close. I want to say, I love your title. It's principled. Like there's a play on the words of principal and ed and principled. And tell us a little bit about the message of your book.
You know, we all got our admin licenses and you go to principal school and then you have the job. And it's kind of like motherhood, where I was like a perfect mother before I actually had children of my own. I knew everything about it. And then, you know, you get into this position and it turns out like you don't know anything. And you're like faking it till you make it. And you feel like you don't, you know, like you don't want to admit that you don't know what you're doing. And so this is the book that I hoped that I would have had when I started this job, to know like, yeah, this job can be totally nuts sometimes. And there's a way through. And there's other people that have gone through it, and it's not just you. And so, you know, that's kind of, the book is in 4 different sections, and it kind of just walks you through reflecting and then focusing and then, you know, going deep and really leading with love and humor.
Yeah. I feel like, Rachelle, and I want to say this, like I felt that same exact way with teaching. I was the perfect teacher before I ever entered a classroom. Boy, did I have a lot to learn.
We all do, right? It's every single day we're learning. I mean, just even today, we were home today, just virtual for one day. And I was trying to think like, what did I actually do today? Like, it's so strange because I've been so used to being in my classroom because we're hybrid. And then we just were transitioning a little bit. So it was like virtual today. And I was so out of the routine because for the first 9 weeks we were virtual. And so I was teaching from home and, you know, I had the whole system, the workflow going, a microphone, but at school, I have an older desktop computer. So and it doesn't have a webcam. It doesn't have an internal mic. So I've got a microphone on a tripod, and I've got a Hue document camera so that I have an extra kind of, you know, eye into the classroom so that I can move around and interact with the students that are there. But today I was like, where's my stuff? And then they get like, am I logging in at the right time? You know, you get in your habits. So it was just weird. Last night I thought, what do I do tomorrow? Almost like it's the first day of school, you know. Then I'm like, what did I do on Friday? And I thought, Friday? I don't remember what I did this morning, let alone Friday. Just forget it.
Thank you. That's how we do Mondays around here.
Well, I think all of this is so disorienting, and it's like you kind of get in, you know, you feel pretty confident in your job, and then something else happens and you're like, oh yeah, it turns out I don't know what I'm doing again. And it just kind of, you know, this book and the way that we wrote it was kind of like those touch points on how do you find your way again.
Right.
Because it's not like a linear learning curve that once you get there, you've got it and you can just move on. It's like, you know, I think that all of us as administrators right now are feeling like we're on this huge learning curve with COVID and pivoting and hybrid and CDL and unprecedented, my least favorite word.
Yeah.
Ready to be precedented again.
Let me ask you this, Courtney, because I really love the message of your book, and I am going to read it. So I guarantee you that. Is this for teachers also? Is it just for principals? Who is your audience?
You know, it's for anybody. We definitely speak from our experience of being principals, but I think, you know, it's definitely for anybody who is either a teacher leader or a leader in anybody who wants to be a leader, like those kinds of just ways of organizing your thoughts and setting out goals and, you know, reflecting and having communication. Like there's one of my favorite chapters is about embracing hard conversations. And it's like, you know, if you want your community to be strong, it's leaning into those times of discomfort. And as long as you're doing it with love and compassion and, you know, the intent of being, you know, closer together on the other side of the conversation, like, you know, those kinds of things are important for everybody.
I love that. We need to write a book called Hard Conversations. And I think I want to add to that too, just when your goal, like you said, is to be together and more unified at the end, a willingness to apologize when you do say the wrong thing or when that goes a little off track. I think that is probably what we're seeing in right now more than anything. And this kind of question is for both of you. I'm taking over. I might have to put my listening lips in just a second because I'm talking way too much. But so both of you start. So Rachelle has a book coming out about that one kid that made a major impact, and it's coming out very soon. And neither one of you started writing these books during the pandemic. They were your goals, what you had envisioned started before the pandemic came to change our world. So I want to know from both of you, how has that impacted your writing? And I know I didn't really prepare you for that, Rachelle, but I still want to hear it. Now,
hey, you know what? I'll be back on Friday. I'll see you later. No, I'm kidding. I'm fortunate, and I said this earlier to somebody too. I'm fortunate in the fact that I had signed 2 different contracts a year ago for 2 different books. And the one is for that one kid, and the other one is the things I wish, ... whatever, whoever knew. And that one is still, it's been submitted, but it's still very fluid in the content. And so I've been able to kind of make some tweaks to it. But that one kid book I had turned in right at the end of March. And so going through and doing some edits, I know I did change some things in it reflective of the pandemic and so forth. So thinking about, these books are more, not so much practices of education directly, because they're reflections of teachers about the kid. And there might be a story that might make you laugh, might make you cry, anywhere in between. And Melody, I know you have a story in there, but there's something to take away from it. And so I'm hoping that this time for teachers, especially because I think we've become more reflective in our practice. I know I have, that reading stories like this, even short stories. Nobody has a ton of time to read like from cover to cover. With my books, hey, you don't have to. I hope you do, but just picking up the different stories, and you don't need to get the whole book in to walk away with something. So each individual story, and I think that's what the most important thing is to give ideas so people can reflect on. So I don't know.
Yeah, I would say the same. So we submitted the book back in January, and then, of course, the world changed in March. And so we were in the editing process and definitely added in some of the things that we were experiencing during the pandemic. It feels like it was 6 years ago, but it was just 9 months. And I think one of the things that really stands out to me is we have this chapter about like identifying the things that you control and the things that you don't control. And that has just really resonated with me during this time, because there's so much that we don't control right now with having our students physically away from us. In Oregon, we haven't, at least in my district, we haven't done any hybrid or face-to-face yet. And so, kind of having the kids at home and having just all of the schedule and the resources and the connection, and just not being able to like point on a piece of paper towards them, or, just there's a lot that we don't control. And so we have to double down on the things that we do control. And that's, our schedule and our being present for kids and our connections with families, all of those things.
I love that. Sorry. I'm so glad I had my listening lips in, because as soon as you started talking about control, I started thinking about Janet Jackson. I started thinking about my hair and my obsession with it, getting it as big as possible, and like the super control of my hairspray. So it was good that I had my listening lips.
Kill me.
And I love y'all. If you're watching, this is my 1989 hair. The only thing that would make it better is if I actually had bangs. But I just can't. I decided I'm just not a bang person anymore. I do love everything that you're saying. That it's perfect. We all kind of get into those ruts when we start thinking about everything that is out of our control. I know I was talking with Rachelle last week, and I'm like, I am the worst teacher ever. I feel like I have completely given my kids just the crappiest year so far. And what did you tell me, Rachelle?
I said, you did it. Not specific words, but I said, we all are kind of feeling the same way, like every day, that it's like, I had the worst lesson. I could have done that better. What was I even teaching? What day is it? So.
Exactly. And I love that. And really what you said, reflecting on the changes and the pivoting is probably the major theme of this year. So just going with what works. Yeah, I love that. If you're watching, please tell us how you're doing today, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. Also, if you have any questions for Courtney and her book, let us know. And I hope that if you're on Twitter, you will follow her. I did on the ticker put her Twitter handle, so definitely give her a follow. And her, how would I say that? Her website for her book is right there also. So principled.org. Go to that. And so something else that is coming up is you are hosting a Twitter chat tonight.
We are, yeah. The TLAP Twitter chat will be tonight at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. So it'll be awesome. Kate and Rachel will be there, and we're going to talk specifically about how people are navigating their learning curves during COVID, and hopefully share a lot of ideas and just, that empathy for the journey. We're not alone in this, even though it sometimes feels that way.
We are not alone. What are some other Twitter chats? You're another queen of Twitter chats, my friend Rachelle.
Well, first I want to go back. What? the T-Lab chat, it's only 30 minutes now, I think, right? Because I had guest moderated that 2 different times. And I know that I had a lot of practice ahead of time, fortunately, because that is fast and furious. And when you go for an hour, I did break Twitter the first time because it just thought they're like, nobody can be tweeting, typing that fast. You must be a robot. And it locked me down. So then I had to come back in. But now it's 30 minutes. So I do enjoy that chat. But Monday nights, yeah, I co-host the formative chat at 7:30 to 8 Eastern. So 30 minutes, 3 questions. What else? T-Labs tonight. EdTech chat is always a great chat. That's at 8 Eastern. Nathan Stevens and Alex kind of lead that one. What else is tonight? Sometimes rethink learning.
Yeah, and I want to say I do on Monday nights, I do the AK Ed chat, the Alaska Ed chat. It is later. We have to have our own chat because we are later, and it starts at 7:30 our time. So Rachelle, if you're up at 10:30, we would, or no, oh my gosh, 11:30.
I'll be watching The Office.
But I want to give them a plug because I really do. I appreciate the AK Ed chat. It's one of those chats I just enjoy. The fellowship of Alaska teachers are pretty amazing. So yeah. But what else is coming up?
A special guest.
All right. If you're watching and you have a chat that you'd like us to be part of, or at least give a shout out, please do. Otherwise, just tell us how you're doing. We love Mondays. I actually feel really good today. Do you guys feel better than normal? Is it just me?
Oh, look at your coworker.
It's not just me. That's the reason I normally close the door. That's the reason.
I feel you on that one.
If his face was right here right now, he just yawned really big. That would have been just awesome. Apparently he's tired from working so hard today, I guess. I don't know. If only. I don't even know what you asked.
I can't either. Courtney, do you remember? I said something. Oh, like give a shout out. But yeah. No.
Is it your best Monday? Yeah.
I feel like yes.
Okay.
Do you guys feel like that?
Sure.
Here we go again. This is awkward.
It's 2 weeks until break. I think that's going to be great. It's the time to rest is in sight. So that's good.
It's very strange, though. I think just December 7th, I put things up around the house, decorating a little bit on an everyday basis. I add something to the house. Although in some cases, I've had decorations up since last Christmas. So I don't have
what
that much to do. People leave their lights on outside sometimes.
It's true.
I mean, you just realize how quickly it goes. You think, well, geez, I'm glad I didn't take that down because here we are again. It's December.
Okay, well, I gotta say, I don't know if this is even more strange, but I noticed when I was my little girl turned 8 yesterday, and this weekend I was going through old pictures, just trying to find some, and I saw on my Facebook post from this summer, my Christmas tree had no decorations on it, but it stayed up until May.
Oh my goodness! Oh, wow. Commitment.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. It's just festive. I have a tree up in my house. And it just has lights on it. It already had the lights on, and I'm content to just leave it like that because it's nice, and I might leave it up all year. I'm kidding.
Was it a fake tree? See, those are not something that we do in Oregon. So,
okay.
You do real trees?
Yeah. I've got 2 real trees in my house. It's kind of like sacrilegious in Oregon to get a fake tree. I make fun of my friends that do.
I used to have a real one, but then I think you can probably guess why that might be a problem.
I like fake trees. Oh my gosh, your mom.
The Christmas deer. Oh, She's supposed to be watching the Steeler game right now anyway.
No, Marianne is here. Thank you for being a faithful follower, Marianne. All right, what about this Christmas deer? Is that what's been up? Are these your friends? Are they friends with the raccoons?
Oh, this has got to be a good story.
This is not anything I signed up for today, but hey, this is usually something for Thrive O'Clock. But since Mom brought up the point, there is a picture hanging when you come into the house that has a deer, and there's lights throughout the deer antlers, and it's quite heavy, and I kind of forget about it for a while, and so next thing you know, sometimes it's April or May and it's still hanging up there instead of the Barbara Wood paintings that are usually in the space. Well, there's one that goes there in the space, but at any rate.
Wow. So your Christmas deer never went down. That's one of the decorations.
It did in June.
Hey, Yassine.
Hey.
So cool. Okay, so do you guys actually have real pictures? Do you do that too, Courtney? Like you take out pictures?
No.
Okay.
That's a big commitment. No, we do trees. We do some elves, like little Christmas stuff. But yeah, it's fun. My kids actually did it all this year, so trained well. So.
Yes. Do you do Elf on the Shelf?
You know what's funny is that the kids are actually moving the elf now. So, once we got to a certain age, the elf stopped moving, and now they've taken that over. So that's fantastic.
I know this is a really unpopular opinion, but I always thought the Elf on the Shelf was really creepy. I'm just saying. Like, I never did it. Like, I can barely even remember when my kids, when they lose their teeth. I'm the worst fairy tooth mother. What is that thing called? The tooth fairy. I am the worst.
I like the fairy tooth mother instead.
Yes, that worked.
And hey, Yassine, I did see you. I'm so glad you joined us today. So I am the worst. Dang it. It's not fairy tooth mother. What is it?
Godmother? Fairy godmother?
The person that puts the money under the pillow.
Ask Marianne. She seems to have
Marianne, it's the tooth fairy. Oh my gosh, write that down. No. The tooth fairy. I am the worst tooth fairy ever. I always forget my kids lose teeth. They already know now. I've ruined the surprise for them because they've woken up when I've, whatever. We just give them $1. It's all right. So I know that I could not be committed to the Elf on the Shelf, but it's the eyes. It's the eyes on the Elf on the Shelf that really get to me. I had a friend stay over for a few weeks, and she was moving and transitioned from Texas to Oklahoma. Her husband was already in Oklahoma. So she stayed with us for a few weeks before Christmas, and they did the Elf on the Shelf. And I was like, it just freaked me out seeing that thing. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine right now. It's like hanging from a door. It is a little creepy. I have a feeling it's looking at me now rather than the children. But yeah, all those traditions.
No, but it's still super sweet. I know people really get into it. Some people are super perverted. Like you just see all things out there. The funny memes, the Elf on the Shelf. I know I went there, Rachelle. Did you see her face? She's like, Melanie did not just say that. I did. I said it.
Oh, I want to go back to the picture though that my mom brought up. So, because you're probably wondering, because you said do people change the pictures? And normally, I don't. You hang the picture. There's pictures in here that have been hanging, literally laying on the wall, against the wall for 3 years that need to be on the wall. But we used to do in our town, there's like a historical society. And so they would do like a Christmas tour to different houses in December. So my mom, they needed people to be kind of the host, and when people come in, make sure they had their wristbands and, see them in and out. So my mom and I had been doing that for a couple of years. And one of the houses had this, which I now have, picture. And the person had gotten it at, I think, Sam's Club. And it was not, oh my gosh, there goes the reindeer.
There's the Christmas cat. This is the Christmas cat right there, y'all.
Oh, but there was, it was not expensive. I think it was like $35 or $40 or something like that. But it's really nice, and I really like it. And so I have it. But most of the pictures in my house, my mom had actually, my mom likes this one artist, Barbara Wood, and the paintings are beautiful. I could never pick out a good picture, so I'm thankful to my mom for having such good taste. However,
So
I need to put the other picture back up.
Right. So basically, Marianne has a problem with her favorite painter being covered up because of this Christmas deer. She's got it out. I see what you're doing, Marianne. You have it out for that Christmas deer. She's tired of seeing the Christmas deer, Rachelle. She needs to see her favorite Barbara Woods painting up there once again. I didn't mean, you know what? I think it's great that you change up pictures. I should be like that. I finally, and you were talking about training your kids. So we do have some seasonal decorations. I was so amazed that when my husband and kids started pulling out the tree, because we do have fake trees, and maybe Alaskans don't, but these people that are transplanted from Texas do, because I hate pine needles.
To chop down.
they actually took all of those decorations down. I was so amazed that I didn't have to do that and put up, when they were putting up the Christmas stuff. Maybe I'm not such a bad teacher.
I told you you're not. maybe one
my
day,
husband's learning.
Maybe one day that I can be a student. I can be an online student for you, and I can go through the day in the life of Melody's classroom.
Oh, guys, you would not like that. It is a lot of yelling, cussing, gnashing of teeth, all of it. I'm just joking.
Wait, are you the one gnashing the teeth, or the kids gnashing the teeth?
Yeah,
it's been a power play. There's a lot of cussing going on inside of my head. Am I the only one that does that? Like when I'm frustrated, I'm cussing in my head. Do you guys do that?
But filter. Yeah. Filter.
Yeah. Okay. We're not going to go there because people are going to hate on me if I was truthful about like the way that I teach my children. Okay. So
there's a Hattie strategy in there somewhere of, or cuss in your head. That works.
I
have some of the best comebacks in my head that never are said ever.
You need to write them down.
I am so clever. No, because people would hate on me because it's terrible. It's just terrible. This stays in my head and should stay in my head. Okay. So anyway, I'm like, bad. What is it? Bad mom or bad teacher? I'm like that. I'm like the bad cat. So what are you most looking forward to for your break? Like when break happens in 2 weeks, what is something that it's just getting you through right now?
It's so strange because usually at this time I'm like crawling to break and I just want to be on my couch and watch Netflix. But I feel like I've been doing that for 9 months. So I don't know. Maybe we'll like drive someplace and look out the windows in our car.
We do that all the time, Courtney. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I'm really lucky in Oregon because we live just an hour from the beach and an hour from the mountains. So we could, go switch it up somewhere. But we're also doing some, with Principled, we're doing a book study. And so that's like on our website now. And we're going to be kind of coordinating some things with that. So, just focusing a little bit more on the book and the community and getting some things going. That will be fun for break.
Yeah, getting to focus completely on that. And so can people go to your website, principled.org, and learn more about your book study that's coming up?
Yeah. Under the section, there's 2 different versions of the book study. So if you want to do it one way, it's great. And another way is there too. So
that's awesome. What about you, Rachelle? Are you looking forward to anything in particular?
I would say Netflix. No, I'm kidding.
Listen, you haven't been Netflixing for 9 months. Like most of the world was Netflixing. Rachelle just discovered it or, really got into it.
Yeah.
I finished it. I think I watched everything on Netflix.
No, I've been watching The Office, and my dad had stopped over yesterday, and there was one episode. Now I can't think of which one it was. Oh, I know. Dwight was doing like a safety test, and he started the fire and had everything shut, and I was in tears laughing watching it. So I had my dad watch that scene. I never knew. I mean, I really never. I never watched Netflix, and then people would say The Office. I'm like, I knew about it. I could recognize the characters, but I don't know. But I do have a lot of writing to do over the break. So I'll be doing that and napping.
Nice. I have to say, when you were talking about, I will hopefully be doing some writing too. Like I have some projects that are coming up. When you said that you've been Netflixing, and I have too, like at the beginning of the pandemic, that's when we finally got onto the Netflix train. And so I love romantic movies. I love romance books. And I got to say that the Netflix has it much better than Hallmark. I don't know what you guys think, but mostly it's better. The Netflix romance movies for the holidays are better than Hallmark. I just think so. I'm just putting it out there.
I've
But I am
never
looking
watched
forward to those.
Hallmark. Sorry.
Rachelle,
I know. I'm sorry. There's only so many hours in a day.
It's all right. It's all right. Courtney, do you watch Hallmark?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And my husband is actually a closet Lifetime watcher. So we got that out in the open, and now we're watching Lifetime movies together.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's good. It's been good.
Well, we have come to the end of our show. I want to thank you, Courtney, for joining us. Rachelle, it's always amazing to see you. Do you have any last words that you'd like to impart with our people and our community before we go?
Just a whole lot of love and appreciation for all of the educators out there. This is hard. This is really a big, big lift, and you are doing amazing. And I think that it feels heavy because we know it's not enough, but it is as good as we can do. And it's just really appreciate everybody out there.
I can't say it better than that. Only thing I can say is try to take at least 3 naps a week. If not every day. If not every day, 3 naps a week.
Yes.
Power
you
nap.
deserve it. You deserve it. You don't have to earn it. You deserve it. Just get a nap. Yes, we appreciate everybody who is viewing. We will definitely see you right here on Thrive O'Clock on Friday, and we'll have another guest. But Courtney, thank you so much. Congratulations on your book. Thank you, everybody who stayed tuned with us. We will see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.